And this broader idea of the tech industry's responsibility, it's the social responsibility, because we've been talking a lot this year about, Facebook and Google and the role that they play in, U.S. public discourse or global public discourse. Where do you see eBay fitting into that?
I think, first of all, I think it's imperative that this industry takes that responsibility seriously and doesn't give it lip service. And I mean that on two levels. The first level is, this really matters in our society right now. I am worried, we are all worried about the discord we see in our social conversation. That can be better or worse. And if you're a platform that is enabling trillions of conversations, there are things you could do every day that make that better or worse. I don't want to connect dots and see us get more and more fragmented as a society. Social cohesion, the ability to be respectful, the ability to grow together, even if we disagree about politics or other issues. I mean, this is really important as American citizens right now. This isn't about Silicon Valley. This is about America and where it goes. On another level, let's just take a naked business purpose. Forget high-minded citizenship. It's really dumb to ignore what's happening in the world if all you care about is your bottom line. Because the idea that we can grow immensely valuable companies with immensely wealthy people and leave a lot of people behind who are feeling worse and worse about the product is not sustainable, right? It just is never going to happen. If society doesn't become part of this conversation, if society doesn't embrace and want to see things like social networks become part of it, I mean, I go around now and people tell me, I'm just weary. I'm just not spending as much screen time because it's exhausting. The level of discord is exhausting. Okay, put aside your view about whether that's good or not for our society. It's obviously not good for business. If people are worn out because of the political chatter on a social network, they're not going to be on that social network very long.
So eBay is not strictly a social network, it's a marketplace.
Yeah.
Right? But, and the thing that's been sort of central to this debate about tech companies has been their access to data. And even though you aren't a social network, you do have a lot of data and information on your customers.
We do.
How do you think about the future of privacy? There's a push in Congress right now to develop legislation that could conceivably cover all 50 states. How do you think about, what kind of proposals would you be comfortable with?
Yeah, I do think that where we're heading is the notion, starting at the highest level, that privacy is a fundamental human right. I think if you go back and look at, I don't want to go back too far in history and get us all back to our history class, but if you go back to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and before that the Magna Carta, there was this idea that there are certain rights that are so close to being humanness, that no person or government should be able to separate those. Fast forward to 2018, I don't see why privacy is any different. I don't see why the idea that you should have control of who you are and you should have control of your data is all that different than you should have the right to free speech. They seem on the same level in 2018. Now, how that manifests itself is really important. I don't think that means that people shouldn't give their data freely, but freely is the operative word. I think that what tech company, where this has gotten really hot in the debate is, I didn't know you were using my data that way, right? And that's not okay, right? I am happy to give my data to certain companies that build me a great experience, as long as I know that that data is controlled and it's going to help make that experience great. That's the way I try to approach it at eBay. I say, I don't want to hide data from people. I want people to say, wow, if I make my data available to you, it's going to stay in eBay's ecosystem, and the product is going to be so personal that I don't have to search through 2 billion items. You know what I want, and I'm going to get it faster, easier. You'll show me things that delight me. That's a good experience. A bad experience is, I never knew you were selling my data to a bunch of advertisers, and now all of a sudden they're showing up in my email, and what's going on here? And I think that the notion of privacy as a fundamental human right has to ultimately be one of control. It has to be one where there's transparency and there's control so that people feel comfortable. And then if they're going to give up their data, they do it freely.
So it sounds